Hey, what's up, you guys? It's the Curious Owl here, and I have another book review for you guys. So my book review today is going to be on the first book in the Mortal Instruments series, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. And I'm gonna be honest, I was really skeptical about this book at first because I don't know, I felt like it was gonna be really not interesting. I hadn't really known much about it. I know that the movie came out like 3 years ago, and I'm really hesitant to watch it right now because there's a lot of complicated things in this story that I feel like would easily be taken out that needs to be in there. So I'm really hesitant to watch the movie, honestly, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched any of the movies that have been made from books. I've really just not had an interest in watching all of them, so I think I'm just gonna stick with doing book reviews and not have to worry about just sitting and watching the movie. But anyway, so I was pleasantly surprised by this book. I really was. It was very enjoyable. It wasn't like too over the top. There were a lot of things that I felt like were kind of just like random, but they weren't. Like, there was some things that happened in this book that I was really surprised that Cassandra Clare had written to happen. And for those of you that have not read it, the story basically is about a girl, Clary Frey. She's a 15-year-old girl living in, I think, Brooklyn, New York. It's around that area, basically. And she starts out going to a club with her best friend Simon called Pandemonium, and basically witnesses the death of a person that she thought was a human boy, but ends up being basically a vampire, and he's killed by these three other teenagers that she doesn't understand. And then her mother ends up being kidnapped, and Clary finds out that there's this whole other world in her world, basically it's called like the Shadow World. And she meets 3 people from the Shadow World that are all Shadow Hunters. She meets Jace, Alec, and Isabel. Alec and Isabel are siblings, and Jace has been technically a part of their family for several years due to some things that have happened in his past and in his childhood, which they explain in the book. But basically, she finds out this entire other world, finds out that she actually was, she's somehow affiliated with this Shadow World, and I don't want to say what it is because it kind of ruins a lot of the story, but they find out that this one person that basically was this evil overlord at the time, several years before, has somehow, like, either has been regenerated or someone is taking his place and is wreaking havoc in the Shadow World and in the mortal world. So basically she has to figure out first where her mother is and figure out how she can get to her and try to save her from this cult, essentially. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the characters in the book. I thought, honestly, that Jace was one of the there's a word I could call him, but it's not a nice word. It's just basically like he was one of those kind of people where he's very sarcastic, he's very witty, but he's kind of mean sometimes too, like in his humor. And it's not like, and he intends it, but he does it at the same time. Clary is very much an innocent character. I honestly think she's very believable in the sense of, like, I don't know how I would feel if I was to all of a sudden find out that I can see demons and I can see these strange, like, demon hunting people. So I understand and I totally believe the fact, like, half of the things that she goes through in the story. And then involving her best friend in it, who is a human, it's very believable that, like, if this was to happen to somebody, I really think it would happen in this way. I think though that the only problem that I had with this book at all was one of the characters, I will not say which. If you've read the book or you've seen the movie, you will understand who it is. The Cassandra Clare basically wrote one of the characters as gay, but it was not hinted at, but when you first meet them, it wasn't really said at all. And then all of a sudden, Clary asks someone about this person being gay, and this person is like, how did you know that? Like, there's no, like, you can't tell this other person that they're gay because it's gonna ruin everything. So, for me, it was it was just out of the blue. I didn't get any kind of feeling that this character was gay in a sense. But then you delve further into the relationships that they have with certain characters, and it makes sense. But I wish that there would have been more of a development when you first met this character, because I would have never guessed that this character was gay until somebody said it, and then things would kind of click. So yeah, that's really my only big issue with the story, honestly. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Other than that, I really think Cassandra Clare this book is a really good first book in a series. I'm pretty sure there's only 5 books in the series. Yeah, there's City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, and City of Lost Souls, which are the other 4 books. I don't know how long it's going to be until I get to City of Ashes, but I am looking forward to reading it because the ending of the story gives such a big plot twist as far as the relationships between some of the characters, and it honestly makes me want to read more, especially when things begin to kind of go awry with this whole plot twist happening. There's definitely a lot, like, it honestly ends in a way that I feel like I can continue with the next one right off the bat, and I would really get into it really easily. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to read the next one right away. I have several other books I have to read, and then towards the more in the future, I have other series I need to continue to go on. If I had the whole series, though, at one time, I would read them, boom, 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 but not really happening. So yeah, that's just a quick my little review for City of Bones. Great book. I honestly do recommend it to a lot of people that are into kind of supernatural. I thought this was going to be more of a dystopian novel. I really thought it was going to be a futuristic dystopian tale, and it's not. It's a more present, like more modern supernatural kind of story. So if you're into fantasy, if you're into supernatural things, definitely pick up this book because it's really, really good. This is definitely a YA novel. There is some language that could be sensitive to younger viewers. There is a lot of gore that happens in some parts of the novel. There's not really any steamy scenes, so that's really nice, but honestly, just because of the amount of violence and the amount of language that is in this novel, I do not recommend it to many people under the age of 14, maybe 13. 13 is probably the lowest. But I do recommend it for any YA readers, any adult readers even. I think they would get a kick out of this. My parents had watched the movie, and they said that without reading the book, and they said that the movie was pretty decent, but I'm hesitant to watch it because I'm not thrilled with after reading this, I'm not thrilled with the casting choice that they picked for some of the characters, just from like memory of like seeing trailers of who was in it. I'm not thrilled about the people they casted for it. I do not think Lily Collins is the right fit for Clary, but I would have to watch her to see how she actually portrays her. She does not, physically, to me at least, I don't know how other people feel about her, but to me, she does not physically embody Clary in the right way. She is very thin. She does have darker red hair, but I just don't think she's not the right fit. But you can't really, like, everyone has their own artistic viewpoint, so that's just my opinion. So, for next time, the next book I will be reviewing for you guys is going to be on Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I am really, really excited to read this book. I actually had several friends recommend this book to me throughout the last few years since it's been out. And actually, my friend Becca over at Bookworm Becca recently went to BookCon in Chicago and actually got to meet Ransom Riggs there. So that's really cool. And she got a lot of stuff signed by him. And I know that they've been trying to come out with a movie for this, but I think recently it's been postponed, if I'm correct. I can't remember for sure, but I remember somebody telling me that the movie actually was being postponed because of casting choices. I might be getting that confused with another movie, but I'm not 100% sure. I hope, though, that it does come out fairly soon, and I'm really excited. I have really no idea what this story's about. I just know it's supposed to be really creepy. It's supposed to have like cool little pictures in it. So another book that's kind of like similar to this that a lot of people have talked about, which I've read the first book, is the Asylum series by Oh, I can't remember her last name's Rue. R-O-U-X. That's all I remember of her right now. I'll make sure to make a note down here of the book series that's supposed to be similar to this with the author name. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this, guys. I honestly have been pleasantly surprised with all of the books I've read so far this year and since I've started this channel. Every book I've picked up has given me a very good feeling about the rest of the series, and I hope that continues. I hope that these books that I've been wanting to read for a while continue to meet my expectations and even surpass them. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this book review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!